Hello and welcome back to the Dancing Italian Urban Farm. Today we're canning potatoes and harvesting some herbs and just kind of settling into our winter routine. I had started peeling the potatoes and then my husband, wonderful as he is, came in and offered to peel them for me, which I was grateful for. And I'm just going to cut them into bite-sized pieces and put them in the pot to boil. I'm going to parboil them before I put them in the cans to get them canned up. Okay, since it's finally starting to cool off and it looks like we're going to be in for some, relatively cooler weather, I decided to come out and go ahead and harvest the rest of my herbs. I'm going to cut back the rosemary a little bit more, but I am going to try to overwinter that. I'm going to get my cilantro, do one more big harvest of oregano, and get the rest of the basil and the thyme. My thyme didn't do as well, but I'm going to go ahead and get what's here. My thyme, I'm just going to go ahead and harvest what's here and what basil I can harvest. Yeah. And then cilantro. My cilantro actually did pretty good, but I'm going to go ahead and harvest it so I can get it dried. Rosemary, like I said, I'm going to cut it back, then I'm going to try to overwinter it. And my oregano, I'm just going to go ahead and do another big harvest of that as well before it gets real cold. Okay, so I'm just going to clip all of the sprigs of thyme off of my plant and then just go ahead and let that one go for this year. I will try again next year with thyme. I'm thinking what I may do next year is I have some really big pots, flower pots that my parents had given me. I think what I may do is fill those and put my herbs in those and see if they do better. I don't know. Just a thought that I had, but yeah, I got the rest of the basil or what was left of the basil that I could get. And then here I'm just clipping back that cilantro. This is the first time my cilantro has successfully given me anything to harvest, so I'm real excited about that. So I kind of clipped as much of it off as was there, and I'm going to dry that and get that, set aside to use over the winter. I will probably put it in some taco seasoning, to be perfectly honest. I know this is a bad angle, I'm sorry, but I'm just kind of clipping back my rosemary here. My rosemary bush looks really, really good. So I'm going to pay attention to the weather, and if it looks like it's going to be like super duper cold, like freezing temperatures for multiple days in a row, I do have something I can cover my rosemary with to see if I can get it to overwinter. But our winter is shaping up to be milder than usual. So we'll just have to see. Now, as for my oregano did so good this year. I have massive amounts of oregano. I cut as much as I could. I got tired, honestly, of clipping this oregano because there's so much of it there. I may cover part of it if it gets super duper cold and let the rest of it just die off in the freeze. But honestly, we've had a couple of days where it was below freezing at night or close to freezing at night, and this thing, it hasn't even touched it. It's just like, nope, I'm here and I'm here to stay. So I guess our oregano is just here to stay, and I'm okay with that because I do love oregano. My husband is Italian, so we use a lot of oregano in our cooking. So yeah, and I use it in other things as well. So, for other purposes, cleansing purposes and whatnot. So yeah, and it's a lovely herb. It's very protective, and it has other medicinal properties that I'm going to be diving into over the winter and into the new year. So look forward to that coming up. All right, so now I am going to get my potatoes out of the pot and into another pot so I can get it out of the water. Some of them got a little more cooked than I wanted them to be, but it is what it is. I'm going to get my pressure canner out and my jars, and I am going to get to canning. I'm just going to fill the jars to 1-inch headspace with the potatoes. I'm going to pour hot water over the top and make sure I'm at that 1-inch headspace. And clean my jars, put my lids on, put the bands on, get them in the canner. My canner is an All-American. I can do 7 quarts at a time. So I had 7 quarts of potatoes. The rest of the potatoes that were left, we just cooked up and ate for dinner that night. No big deal. But now I have 7 more quarts of potatoes on my shelves for the winter. And here is what the potatoes look like coming out of the canner. They look beautiful. I will check them tomorrow to make sure that they all sealed, get them washed up and labeled and put in the pantry to have 7 more quarts of potatoes in the pantry for the winter time. Love having canned potatoes. Real easy to open a can of those potatoes and, throw them in with some meat. Sometimes I have canned meat. I need to do another big meat canning day too, but and some other vegetables with some broth and make a nice soup. They're great for making mashed potatoes, all sorts of things. Very versatile ingredient here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and want to see more content like this, please make sure you subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell so you're notified every time we upload a new video. Y'all have a wonderful and beautiful day.